So, Brant, the swashbuckling anime Jack Sparrow hybrid fusion resonator, is here with some more drip marketing from Wuthering Waves that they've posted on their Twitter. We're going to take a little look at that, and we're going to get into what I mean actually by the dual or hybrid fusion resonator, because I've mentioned it in a previous video and I kind of wanted to touch on it again and talk about that. So you guys bear with me, but let's check out the little vignette that we've got, shall we? And the splash artwork as well that Kuro have posted on Wuthering Waves' Twitter. Anyway, let's get into it. Post-lament Anthropocene stars intertwined. Brant casts out his grapple and leaves the anchor from its moorings. Igniting a roaring blaze, the time has come to set sail to face another stormy challenge ahead. Head on, sorry. Okay, so let's have a little look at this vignette then. Again, leaning into the fusion language here, and I'll speak about other reasons why I believe Brant is a fusion resonator and potentially maybe a hybrid resonator as well, and what I mean by that. But let's have a little look at this vignette then, shall we, and see what it's all about then. One of the most hyped characters as well, I've got to say. One of the most hyped characters. I think really now, I think Carlotta for me was the most hyped. I think for most people it was Zany, but I think Brant might have like actually took the top spot for a lot of people now, if I'm honest. Okay. Oh, the sword is looking nice. Close up at the chest, of course. Dude, you know what? Hey, you know, if it wasn't straight, dude is a good-looking guy, right? So what, actually, I think probably one of the best design characters in the game. Let me just roll that back here and have a look at the sword. Looking really good, actually. So, this has got me questioning again, is this a broad blade or is it a sword? It looks a little bit slimmer than a broad blade, but at the same time, I think it could be either. Again, we get a better look at the pistol as well here. If you just go back as well and look at the blade, we can see it draped in purple flame. Are we about to see a fusion user that emanates purple flame? That will be absolutely dope if that's the case. So again, another thing that's leaning into the fusion resonator there. Now, let me just discuss why I believe Brant is a fusion resonator. One, his name. Brant actually comes from Old English. It goes all the way back to Norse, actually, to mean burning, torch, to mean to brand cattle. So that is what makes me believe, for one, just in the terminology of his name, we're seeing these mentions of igniting, lighting, all of these different things that makes me believe that Brant is a fusion resonator as well. And what do I mean by hybrid? Well, I think it's pretty obvious, right, what I mean by hybrid. We're seeing the dude with a pistol on his hip, and we've seen him actually use it within 2.0 as well. I'm not going to talk about any spoilers, but we've actually saw him use it in cutscenes. Now, some people have spoken about whether they believe it's a grapple. I think that might be correct, because if you look just here, it does look like it has some sort of harpoon or launcher on it, doesn't it? And we've seen him using a grapple in the game as well, and it didn't seem like a grapple like that the rover uses. It looked a little bit different, so potentially it is attached to his pistol that he can use to shoot and use to grapple as well, which would be interesting. So that makes me think, is he going to be using a sword or a broad blade and a pistol to fight? Potentially, maybe not using the actual pistol to attack enemies in regards to shooting them, as we would traditionally expect, but maybe using the grapple to either pull enemies in like a CC ability, or pulling Brant to the enemies to close the gap, potentially, and maybe even actually using the pistol as well. But I was thinking outside the box a little bit. What if the pistol could be used to buff the incoming resonator, or buff the squad as a whole, or potentially just buff Brant as well? And again, we can see the sword as well, so we know he's a sword user. But if you look at the handle of the sword as well, it looks like a cutlass, but again, the blade is a lot thinner and longer than what a typical cutlass would look like. And again, I'm not sure, is this a broad blade or a sword? I kind of lean either way, if I'm honest. But if you look to the handle of the cutlass, it's almost got a gun-like handle. And even like this part of the start of the blade here, it kind of looks very similar to the pistol itself, doesn't it, that's on his hip? So once again, this takes me down this road of maybe he's going to be the first hybrid Resonator that uses a pistol and a sword at the same time. And if that's the case, that would be very interesting. I think, was it Chun that was initially with the initial design that we saw of her floating around? Didn't she carry a sword and a pistol? I might be tripping there and imagining things, but I remember seeing some designs that look kind of like that. So maybe that's been passed on to Brant in regards to kit. Another thing that makes me think is potentially Fusion. Who's Changli's best in slot? She really doesn't have anybody to support Fusion attribute for one at the moment, and to really resonate well with her outro, does she? Maybe Brant is going to fill that spot in regards to really being able to use her outro buff for the Resonance Lib, and maybe spend a little bit more time on field and change the way that Changli is actually used in combat, potentially moving away from the typical quick swap gameplay that people are used to using with Changli, and maybe go into a full-on standard team, or maybe we still stick with the quick swap, but it's a different rotation, so he gets a little bit more on-field time, and then you can switch between. I'm not too sure, but I do tend to lean even more so now into the fact that the dude is Fusion. Again, just looking at the purple flame, I hope I will be seriously disappointed if he's not Fusion. This will look so cool in battle if we start to see purple flame in fights. It will look absolutely gorgeous. Again, the dude's design is beautiful. It really is. We've got to get that obligatory shot of the close-up of his chest as well, haven't we? Just to get people swooning, I guess. And again, potentially one of the best designed characters in the game. One thing I did notice when we was playing through the story, that it seems like a lot of detail went into Brant, just into like the material on his clothes. If you look closely at like his hat and his jacket and his trousers, you could almost see the thread count in his clothes, which was ridiculous. And just a great looking character. Loved his whole attitude throughout the game. Like I say, the anime Jack Sparrow, people have come to call him now, which I think fits. I think the VA did a really good job as well. The English VA as well for me personally. And again, just everything reeved in this purple flame I find very interesting. And again, leads me to believe that he is the Fusion Resonator that could potentially be the best in slot for our girl Changli. And maybe, actually, that might make Saint happy as well, hasn't he? But let's pop over to this other post here where it's just got a bit of the splash art, shall we? And have a little look what they've put here as well. So, post-lament, Anthropocene stars intertwined. In the face of danger and adversity, the stage is set for our grandest act, Brant. Archive. As captain of the Fool's Troop, Brant exudes a carefree, easygoing charm, unbound by convention. Beneath his flamboyant persona lies a genuine heart deeply devoted to his family and companions. His life is dedicated to securing a safe haven for the troop's members, and we saw that in game. He definitely is that kind of character, really. Again, I really like Brant, I do. And we're getting a little bit of almost a little bit of a snippet of the pirate map here as well. And obviously, beautiful splash art once again. Kuro continue to push the boat out in regards to design, no pun intended. Again, we're seeing this purple flame reeved around the whole of the design, making me think, again, I'm thinking Fusion, right? You'd look at the colour and you potentially think Havoc, or I think maybe we're going to start to see these characters be particular attributes, but shown off in a totally different way, and I'm so here for it as well. And I like this post here by Cryro. I ain't gay, but yeah, you know, I feel ya. Again, beautiful splash art, but yeah, I really wanted to talk, like I said, the potential of what he's going to be. You know, is he going to be a sub DPS support role? Some people have even mentioned the potential of him being a sustained character, coming in as a healing role. I tend not to think that's the case. I think he's going to play the best in slot probably for Changli, personally. Maybe a dual DPS, the potential that he could be built in a DPS role or more of a support / sub DPS role. So you could maybe go down the quick swap route with Changli if you wanted to, but then build him to really, really take advantage of a outro buff. I'd like to think that's the case anyway, because I think Changli needs some love in that regards. And I think he's the guy that's perfect to do. I feel like they'd be a great duo as well, just in connecting with each other. This is where I want to see Resonators come together and have those interpersonal relationships. How cool would it be to see Changli and Brant interacting. I feel like they'd make a good couple, man. We're getting a little bit parasocial now, but I do. But yeah, I'd like to know what you guys think. Do you think he's going to perform the role of potentially a besting slot for Changli? Is he going to be the first hybrid Resonator? As I say, having the pistol and the sword, to make a bold point of pointing that out now, because we saw it in his initial art, didn't we? But throughout the story, we never really saw him carrying his sword, really, and we didn't see him really using both weapons. I felt like that was a specific thing that they did to kind of hold off on that, because if it does turn out that he is this hybrid Resonator, it will be, like, again, this rollout of the new generation of Resonators in the game. We're already starting to see things like with the Spectral Frazzle and dot damage. You know, we've got a new type of ranged user now. Are we going to see this hybrid user as well, where Resonators really do start to feel different in the game? I think it would make sense personally. You know, because it would elevate and take the game to a whole new point, wouldn't evolve it, if you will. But yeah, I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments. And are we going to see Zany tomorrow, or are we waiting for Zany? Are these the next two banners, and potentially Zany is going to be followed up with a double rerun, kind of how we had with the Yao and the Yinlin banner rerun? Maybe that's going to be the case for her. Who knows? But I'm very interested to see what Brant is. I'm adamant, I'm confident that he is fusion, and if I'm wrong, I'm going to be gutted. But I'm really interested to see if he is this dual weapon user. But I'd love to know what you guys think in the comment section. Get your conversation started down below. Let me know what you think. Let's get it started. If you did enjoy the video, guys, drop a like on the video. And as soon as I hear more from Wuthering Waves, we will be starting another conversation, because hopefully they'll post some stuff on the website soon. We get a little bit more, because I'm waiting for it, man. My brain's ready to start theory crafting. We will have more scripted videos coming soon as well, guys. But if you did enjoy, give it a like, and I'll see you all in the next video. Ta-ra.